morning to one and all. Today, we are here on a live webinar program of GAIPPConference 2020. And the subject of discussion is Industry 4.0, Upskilling and Reskilling for Career 4.0. 2020 has been a very challenging year for everybody globally. Be it a businessman, be it an industry professional, be it a student, be it an entrepreneur. Everybody has experienced a different kind of challenge in 2020. Out of them, the most challenging aspect has been the challenges faced by the students community. People who are looking for career opportunities ahead. The industrial revolution, which has traversed from industry 1.0, the agriculture-based industrial revolution, to today, industry 4.0, which is today a networking and internet-based industrial revolution. This journey has changed the course of job, career, industry, and business from time to time. Today, we are at a very crucial phase where we are going to a very new phase of industrial revolution, business, and lifestyle. GAIPPConference is an integrated global platform that facilitates knowledge sharing on various subjects, starting from lifestyle to business, for the benefit of one and all. In this program, particularly today, I am going to present the subject theme along with our two invited guest speakers. Ms. Sifali Mandhania, the proposal manager for Microsoft, and Mr. Satish Chandra Velpula, who is the consulting head corporate relationship for Astra India, Hyderabad. As you go ahead with the presentation, let me introduce the subject to you and create a platform for my invited speakers to take it forward. When you're talking about Industry 4.0, let's understand what is Industry 4.0 first. So let's understand first what is Industry 4.0. Now, the industrialization started with the mechanization, the steam engine, etc. Because people started looking for various options, various means of generating income. And it was the motive of survival first. That was the key point in Industry 1.0. It was mostly agriculture-based revolution, where there was more of mechanizations, there more of initiation in the part of the people to look for jobs. Now, slowly as the time passed, the industrial revolution or industrial standard moved to the advanced level, next level, which is termed as Industry 2.0. Here, the real factory setup started, the production function started. A lot of factories were established, machines were installed, and mass production started. Electrical energy was used to produce large number of goods and products. This was the time where there were a lot of labor force were used in the industry. Again, the industrial process moved forward along with time, and computers came to existence. So the computer revolution started with Industrial 3.0, where the mechanic process and the mechanization of the production process was automated using the computer and electronic technology. Here, with the computer revolution, the kind of job, the nature of working culture all got changed. And this period witnessed a lot of IT jobs coming into existence. Many engineering graduates, many general graduates entered into IT-based jobs and careers, massive IT jobs. Now, today what we are is Industry 4.0. As Industry 3.0 went ahead, the automation industry was further marked with internet revolution, where the cyber technology was integrated with the physical systems. That's why we call it phygital industrial revolution, where Internet of Things, IoT, and networking became the norm of the business. As you can experience today, whether it is from education, whether it is entertainment, whether it is the gamut of retailing business, agriculture, which was initially completely men-controlled manual, is undergoing a tremendous revolution in terms of the internet technology. So right now we are in Industry 4.0. We are moving into Industry 4.0 already slowly. Now, if you see the revolution from agriculture based to mass production and manufacturing to automation and computer electronics to digitization, IoT, and networking, that is how the industry has moved. Now you can ask why you are talking of Industry 4.0 for a career. Obviously, the jobs are created by the industrial process only. So when the industry grows, the nature of job also changes. It also grows. Today, what we are going to experience is a changed nature of jobs, changed job culture. So basically, Industry 4.0 is that phase of industrial evolution where the focus is on interconnectivity, automation, machine learning, and real-time data. There is a connectivity between the digital and the physical components of business and industry. Here, what is the significance or salient feature of Industry 4.0 in terms of the jobs and careers? Because that is what we are going to discuss very focused way. The salient features of Industry 4.0, which is different from Industry 3.0, is there will be demand for more independent, online, contract-based, on-call and freelancing jobs. In short, there will not be demand for full-time jobs anymore. Slowly and slowly, the demand for full-time jobs will be lesser and lesser. Now, what is the impact? What is the implication of this for people who are searching for a career or looking for making a career? So because full-time jobs won't be in existence or in demand, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. office job, typically what we have seen people doing or we ourselves doing, will be a matter of past very soon. Second salient feature is there will be demand for multi-skilled candidates. Please understand, skill will be the defining factor for getting you into a job and making a career ahead. Now, what is meant by skill is, skill here is definitely not the skill of only the literature skills or what you used to call the signing skills. It's a matter of internet skills, the technology skills. And a candidate must be multi-skilled in order to make a career in the industry. Work from anywhere jobs will be more in option. So you can work anywhere, you need not go to a physical space to work. And very important point is employees will need to set their own career path because there won't be any full-time jobs, no organization set up fully functional. You have to choose your own career, own skill set, own growth path. to go ahead. So a snapshot of career 1.0 to 4.0 in the light of industry 1.0 to 4.0 can be understood like this. Number one, under career 1.0, whatever jobs people used to do, that was for survival only. As we move to career 2.0, the jobs were more focused on power, money, authority, and position. This time, there was more government created jobs because you get all these things under government provisions. Then when it moved to career 3.0, job for work-life balance, because there was huge requirement of IT jobs, which are more project-based jobs, where the projects were outsourced from abroad. So we had to adjust to their timings, their demands and requirements. So there was a work-life balance became a critical issue in Area 3.0. Many people had the challenge, toughest challenge of facing the work-life balance. Today, this is going to have a very dramatic change where skill-based freelancing, projects-based and remote working jobs will be more and more. Now, with this background and scenario, let's understand what kind of preparation you need to be compatible and competent to face the challenges and make your career under Industry 4.0. Now, two kinds of skill set required here, the personal skills and the professional skills or functional skills. Now here, as you mentioned, the skill set, what we're talking about is definitely based on the technical skills, right? But along with, you need personal skills also. What are the top 10 personal skills that will be demanded in Career 4.0 are, as mentioned. The first important skill set, personal skill, is complex problem solving. You must be good problem solver. That skill set you must be developed. And that comes with critical thinking. Your ability to think critically, not from a linear point of view, rather from a zigzag point of view or lateral point of view. Third, creativity. Creativity and innovation are going to be two very important dimensions for the industrial growth and, of course, for your career growth. Managing people is an art. So you must be understanding people management, the criteria, the science of people management, the art of leadership. Then, coordination with others, teamwork. Even though technology grows, it needs manpower. It cannot replace the manpower 100%. So you have to work with people who are very skilled people. You are not going to work with people who are underskilled. They are also at par or sometimes better than you in terms of the skill set. You have to know how to work in a team. Emotional intelligence, please understand, IQ is no more a determinant for your success. It's EQ, emotional intelligence. So you must understand how to cope up with these stressful situations, how to cope with the challenges, how to meet the deadlines. These are going to be the deciding factors. Next, judgment decision making, because the problem solving and decision making go hand in hand. You must learn how to make decisions under uncertainty, risk, and certainty. Service orientation, customer focus, negotiation skills are two another important dimensions of the personal skill that must develop. The sensibility towards the customer needs and requirements should be imbibed by you. Negotiating skills and cognitive flexibility are the two last but not least skill set that you must possess. Cognitive flexibility is all about trying to be a learner lifelong. You must understand, because the technology, the changes in the industry, business will be very rampant and rapid. So you have to cope with the changes and be a good learner so that you can grasp the changes easily. Now, what are the professional and functional skills for Career 4.0 that you must understand? And as you mentioned earlier, the skill will be increasingly denote a person's adaptability to work with or around automation. So if you're a skilled professional, that means you know how to work with technology and with around technology or automations. So with this, let's see very important findings. What kind of jobs will be out from the market because of the new changes in the industry? These 12 implied jobs will be out from the market because they follow a very structured pattern of repetitions. So these repeated activities will be replaced by the robots and mechanization of things. So therefore, what happens? Manual labor or manual jobs will be lesser slowly, and it will be replaced by the robots or automations. So you won't find these jobs available for you if you want to do it. So people who are working in these areas or are skilled in these areas must find an alternate to make a career. At the same time, you must understand what to do now. If some jobs are going out from the market, definitely there are more jobs going into the market. But the new jobs that are going to come to the market because of the industrial evolution will also require new skill set to be learned. So how to learn this new skill set? There are two options here: upskilling and reskilling. What is upskilling here is whatever skill you are having now, whatever profession you are in, you must upgrade yourself in the same skill set. Whereas in the reskill, suppose you are in an industry or in a profession or in business or a job where you find the job or job is going to be out from the market, you need to change your skill set, be trained in a new skill set which will be in demand, right? And make a career. That's called reskilling, right? Now, if you see some of the options for upskilling and reskilling, you can see in the upskilling area, you will find skills like digital marketing skills, topping in the skills in the upskilling area, data analytics, cyber security. So please understand why you're talking of digital marketing, because business is going to be in space, not in place. Because people are buying online. If you have seen the trend last so many years, Amazon, Flipkart are experiencing fantastic sales online. People are buying through mobile apps, right? So the business promotion must happen digitally, and the marketing professional who is a traditional marketer, salesperson, must understand digital marketing. So they must upgrade themselves to be digital marketer. Similarly, data science, because data is gold mine. So tomorrow, when you are going to analyze the data and classify them and understand why customers buy, why people buy, that is going to be the key ingredient for your business decision making. It will help you. The third is cyber security, because when everything is happening online, lot of transactions happening online, the security aspect is going to be very crucial. And cyber security is another area where you can upgrade yourself, upskill yourself. These are indicative lists. There are more. When it comes to reskilling, there are the new areas that are emerging or have emerged because of the Industry 4.0. That includes machine learning, artificial intelligence, automation technology, IoT, NLP, and cloud computing. Again, these are indicative lists because technology is going to be the guiding force for all kind of activities, right? So when with IoT, Internet of Things, many things are going to be controlled by internet, software-based apps. So apps are going to dominate, right? Emotional and intelligence, artificial intelligence, AR, VR, virtual reality, augmented reality are going to be the new skill set that are required. So, of course, on that, my guest speakers today are going to focus exclusively on these areas. So, finally, act now. This is time to act because this particular aspect is very crucial for all the stakeholders, whether it is the faculty members who are training people in their academic institutions, the promoters of the educational institutions, the students themselves who are learning, the parents who are financing. All stakeholders must pay attention to the fact that they must act now or it is too late later. So what to act now? Diversify as much as possible. Today, the business model is a platter model. You cannot be very rigid on one single vertical. You must diversify your business, have more options for people, for customers to offer. Diversify your skill set also accordingly. Look for industry relevance courses register. Please understand, gone are the days today where an academic qualification like a degree or a diploma was giving you a job or you are entitled for a job because of the degree you are getting. No, classroom teaching cannot assure you a job. It can give you simply information and knowledge, but you cannot be skilled unless you do it yourself. So experiential learning will be very, very crucial for you to get a job even tomorrow. So look for industry relevant courses because your skill set or training is going to be used by the industry. If it is not relevant to the industry, then it is of no use. It cannot be simple and academic matter, right? So please look for industry relevant courses and register. Third, don't neglect the soft skills. Even though you work in automated setup or automated environment, you must have the soft skill strength, the personality aspects that will decide your ability to cope with the changes around you, to work with people, to show leadership, to take decisions under uncertainty and risky conditions, right? So you need to very much focus on the soft skills. You cannot ignore it. You can say, I'm a techie. I will just focus on the computer. I will focus on the technology. I can work. No, you must work with environment. You will work on a project. So a lot of people will be working around you who are from different skill set. You need to cooperate with them, coordinate with them, collaborate them. So cooperate, collaborate, and coordinate. 3C will be leading to coexistence. So you must understand tomorrow if you have to survive in the market, you have to collaborate with all these stakeholders. Last but not least, get ready for continuous upgradation, lifelong. You must feel that you are a learner every stage of your life and career. You cannot say, I have learned, say, particular technology, you have learned, for example, blockchain. Doesn't mean it is the end of the road. You don't know. Tomorrow, blockchain is maybe changed. You need to upgrade yourself, upskill yourself, or you can reskill yourself later on. So change will be faster and faster. Therefore, you have to accommodate yourself to the changing situations, realities, and learn lifelong. Right. So with this, I have set the background for my co-speakers, the invited speakers, to give you a very in-depth view or in-depth perspective of how the career industry or how the career options are there, what you should do, where you should focus on. So with this, I invite my co-presenter, inviter guest, Sifali Mandhania, proposal manager, Microsoft, to take over and present to the audience. Before Sifali proceeds, let me tell you, Sifali has got 2 decades of vast experience, both in industry and academia. So she understands what are the challenges.
Thank you, Raj sir, for your kind words and for the introduction. Very good morning to everyone. I'm actually very excited to be part of this webinar, GAP 2020. I will start. So, as Raj sir has, taken us through the journey of the evolution of industry to keep ourselves more prepared and geared up to meet the requirements of Industry 4.0. Because Industry 4.0 is definitely going to bring changes in the social, economic, environmental, and political system, almost everything. The future of jobs will also get impacted. In fact, every job that we see today is going to change. So the current and future employees will need to get prepared by developing new skills. The fact is that Industry Revolution 4.0 offers both challenges as well as opportunities. The other side, let's look at how the current COVID has impacted us. In fact, it has adversely impacted every aspect that we can think of, and it also has drastically changed the way organizations operate. The manufacturing companies are now reconfiguring their supply chain and their production line. Service organizations are adapting to emphasize digital first customer journeys. They are trying out innovative ways to reach out to the customer. So all these changes will also have significant effect on the requirement for the workforce skills and capabilities. Which brings us to the $1 million question. Which jobs will be in demand in the next 10 years? Which is the career that will shine like a rainbow always? Which is the career that can provide us everything, right from heavy paychecks to intellectual simulation, can drive us ahead in our field? Frankly, it is actually not possible to predict the future course of each and every job in the workplace. But there are certain capabilities or skills that can help us safeguard our future career. Interestingly, the figure that you see on the slide, 75 million, this is the number of jobs that are going to get displaced, lost by the year 2022. And this is according to the Economic Forum report. And they say that 75 million jobs will be lost due to the new technologies and structural changes in the labor market. However, there's a good part. There is this 133 million jobs that will simultaneously get created. And what is the key? The key is to take advantage of these technological changes. Another interesting aspect, and Ratzer has emphasized on this point of upskilling and reskilling. The future of work will also require upskilling and reskilling. Upskilling in which the employee gains new skills to perform his current roles, or reskilling where he acquires new capabilities to do a certain completely new role. So what was the earlier preconceived notion that you'll have job security cannot be taken as a given in today's world. But what we can do to have job security is to take action and future proof ourselves. You must constantly be reskilling, relearning, acquiring new or updated skills and experience so that you can always be future ready and job ready and provide a tangible benefit to the employers. But are you building these demands or these skills for the job of future? Let's look at some of the skills which are really going to be valuable in future. And these new skills, the people who acquire them will thrive in the future work environments. The first one being the technological skill. And this is not a surprise. Tech skills will continue to be in demand, which includes everything from basic to advanced IT skills, data analysis, and engineering. These skills are likely to be the most highly paid. Next comes the caregiving skill. Now, as more and more people are going to live longer, every aspect of the healthcare sector is bound to grow. And while you have telemedicine, you have robots, performing surgeries, the caregivers market or demand is bound to increase. Next comes the new media literacy. Here, what I mean is the plethora of media platforms that we interact with day to day. If you have a good understanding of these media platforms and you can communicate on them effectively, develop content, it will be very critical job skill in future. Next is the emotional intelligence. Now, the fact is that take a long time for robots to be good at soft skills, like social and emotional intelligence or cross cultural competency. These are hugely valuable. Emotional intelligence shows up on the current list of top skills that will be needed in future. Individuals with emotional intelligence can sense how other people feel. They know how to handle a particular situation. In fact, they are considered to be more marketable by the employers. The fact is that the people with higher EQs, emotional quotient, they have a greater empathy towards their clients and understand the mentalities of their competitors better. The last skill that I would like to touch upon is the lifelong learning skill. Now, gone are the days when you could start a job straight out of college and keep doing the same thing until you retire. The workplace is changing too rapidly to stay in one place and specialize only in one that narrow aspect. You need to constantly keep learning new things so that your future protected. So, what are the jobs that are going to be in demand? The jobs which include are probably health professionals, professionals from STEM, which means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, specialist education people in that field, training jobs, people with a lot of creative background, so on. Let's look at this graph. Again, this graph is from the World Economic Forum report, and it talks about the ratio of human versus machine. If you see, 2018, the ratio was 71 is to 29. Now, the prediction is that this is going to change to 48 is to 52 by 2025. Machines will do more tasks than humans by 2025. Automation, digital technology, new technologies such like artificial intelligence, big data, internet of things, all this is changing the labor landscape in a big way. In fact, artificial intelligence promises to deliver some of the most significant and disruptive innovations of the century. Skilled and innovative AI engineers will be in high demand. Demand for these engineers is doubling in the last few years, and there are limitless opportunities. So, I feel a degree in AI, machine learning, computer programming is a sound career investment. Let's just quickly understand what is this artificial intelligence without getting into the book definition. It is basically a broad and a general term that refers to any type of computer software that engages in human like activities including learning, planning, and problem solving. And why AI is becoming so popular is because AI is able to tackle complex issues effectively, quickly, and at lower cost. Now, just to see how AI has become so pervasive and is impacting our daily life, I've just taken few day-to-day examples. Smartphones. Now, smartphones have become the most indispensable tech product that each one of us owns. And probably we could stay without eating food for a day, but not without the mobile phone. So when you're using a smartphone, you're actually interacting with AI, the built-in smart assistants, or probably when you use the feature of the portrait mode in the camera, all are built on AI. Smart cars and drones. Talking about AI, there's no better and more prominent display of this technology than what smart car and drone manufacturers are doing with it. Just a few years back, using a fully automatic car was a dream. However, like companies like Tesla have made so much progress that we have a fleet of semi-automatic cars on the road. Companies like Amazon and Walmart are heavily investing in delivery programs, and it will become a reality very soon. The social media feed. Now, this is something that each one of you probably uses on daily basis, be it Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat, any social media apps out there. When you are using social media, most of your decisions are being impacted by AI. From the feeds that you receive, the notifications that you receive, everything is actually being curated by AI. Another great example of AI and how it has impacted our lives is in when we are using the music and media streaming services, whether it is Spotify, Netflix, or YouTube. AI is making decisions for you. So next time when you're hitting the play on a recommended video of YouTube, remember that AI is playing that for you. The video games. Now, the video game industry is probably one of the earliest adopters of AI. The integration started with very small, purpose where AI wanted to generate random levels that people could play, but now it is using AI very extensively. One of the biggest users of AI is the online and ad industry. It uses AI not only to track the user statistics, but also serve them ads based on those statistics. Now, by now, you must be convinced for the fact that AI is impacting our lives on daily basis. How about navigation and travel industry? See, most of us travel from time to time and we use either Google Maps or Apple Maps for navigating. So, or probably when we, call Uber or book a flight, any of these things is based on AI. Next is the banking and finance industry. And they use AI very extensively for things like customer service, fraud protection, investment, many things. In fact, a simple example, when we receive an automated email that we have done some transaction which is not ordinary, that's because AI is watching over your account and trying to warn you of any fraud. Smart home devices. Alexa has become home name. In fact, Alexa, using Alexa, both my daughters feel very empowered, giving all kinds of commands to her. Security and surveillance, AI is playing a very big part. The use of AI in health sector has given a completely new dimension. It is able to detect disease and diagnosis so fast. Finally, AI driven algorithms have kind of given much needed impetus to e-commerce to provide a more personalized experience. So after listing down these various AI examples, you must have understood how impactful this technology has become, and it is just bound to rise. This slide basically talks about broadly what are the branches of in AI, but we will not go through in detail. What are the skills that are required for AI? Basically, if you're looking out for technical skills, you need a degree in maths or computer technology. If you're looking for a role in leadership, you need to have a master or a doctoral degree. Studying AI is an upheaval task, but if you're motivated and you have the technical bent, this is a field which has a very promising future. What are the kinds of jobs that you can see in AI? Field machine learning engineer, data scientist, business intelligence developer, research scientist, big data engineer. This is not a comprehensive list, but just picked up few job profiles. And interestingly, there would be future roles like AI psychologist, drone manager, or quantum data analyst. So the future of artificial intelligence is very promising. The demand for AI skills has doubled over the last 3 years. Job postings have increased by 119%. Number of job openings and the fact that there is a mismatch in the demand and supply, because there is a shortage of skilled professionals in this field. AI, there's a prediction that it would add around $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. So at this rate, AI is the way the AI is advancing, there's no doubt that it will continue to flourish in future. Which brings to me to the last slide. And at this point, I would really want to leave you with the thoughts that think about the jobs that excite you. What are the skills that are required for that job? Start acquiring those skills And remember, it's not one-time learning. It's learning skills that you have to adopt for life. So all the best. Thank you.
Sifali, for your beautiful presentation and insightful talk. It was a fabulous presentation with all the data related to different functional skills. I'm very sure the audience will be much benefited with your insightful presentations and sharing. Thank you so much for coming here and presenting your insights and your advices to the looking audience. Thank you so much. Next speaker, invited guest, which is Mr. Satish Chandra Velpula, the consulting head corporate relations, Astra India, Hyderabad. He looks young, but carries a lot of experience behind him with very, very reputed academic institutions across the country. He has been the corporate relationship head, placement head, and also the associate vice president with corporates in his tenure of more than 12 years of illustrious career. He has been associated with institutes like Narsimanji Institute of Management Studies, NMS University, Hyderabad, Nalsar University of Law as the placement head. And before that, he has also handled various group institutions in their corporate and campus placement activities. So who else can be better person who has seen the students, struggling students, preparing students, really worried about and students being successful in making their career from the campus. So here you have seen from Sifali the corporate side requirement. Here you are going to listen from Mr. Satish about the students' preparedness, what is expected from the students and what for the jobs under Industry 4.0. So I invite Mr. Satish to take over and present to the audience.
Introducing me. Kind introduction. It was so nice of you telling me about this. And I would start my presentation regarding the soft skills right now. Importance of soft skills. Why soft skills are important? And what are soft skills? What are the top 10 soft skills which are required for the current generation right now? And can I learn the soft skills? Job requires some interaction with others. So until unless you don't have any soft skills, you can't interact with any of your colleagues. It is very difficult because you can't mute yourself and show some signs to them and say that, okay, I want this and all those things. So that will not happen. So the way of communication should be there, and everything, whatever you want from other people, you have to give and you have to ask. That's how it is. So giving and asking both requires soft skills. Recruiters look for potential people who can become leaders. They don't expect you to have every qualification and everything from the day one, but they will see that whether you have that ability of learning things and growing in the role. These will only happen when you talk to the recruiter about what you wanted to become and what you wanted to do after 5 years or 4 years, whatever they're asking you for, and what is the role that you're applying for. Until unless you don't have any clarity on all these interactions, soft skills are very, very important. And this is what you need to be learned. Some examples why soft skills are very, very important. An example of doctor. This is a very high valid example. Why? Because doctor will be having all the skills. He can operate, he can do anything, he can do damn things, everything. He can diagnose the situation, he can cure the person. But if I was a patient and I went to a doctor and I'm asking for, will you cure my disease? And if he says, go admit in the ward, I will come, I'll see. If it is okay, I will save you. Simple, he's blunt. So listening to him, I'll be afraid. I will not go to him for taking the cure. Why? Because he's not convincing me that he could cure me. So until unless he can't convince, I will not go. Same thing will happen when you go for any doctor and he has very good skill, but communication is very low. People will not go to him. The person who has average skills and definitely the communication skill is literally good, people will go to them because the confidence level what the doctor gives to us, that is only the confidence level what we gain when the process is going on. Until unless you don't have that confidence, people will not go for the cure. This is a very great example of soft skills. And the second example is salesperson. If the salesperson has every knowledge of what is happening in the company, how the product generates, how the product is made of, and what are the ingredients of the product, and what can be done, what cannot be done, everything he knows. But when the customer comes in, he can't explain anything because poor communication skills. Because of his poor communication skills, no one will buy the product. But the person who doesn't have any knowledge about the product, but he knows how to talk, he will learn what are the ingredients of the product, and he will learn how to sell the product to the client. That's it. And that person will excel in the marketing. But the person who has made the product can't sell the product. This is for sure. This is only the very classic example of why salespersons are very important in a production company or any company. This is how it is. Until unless you don't have good communication skills, you can't become a good salesperson. So communication skills and soft skills are very, very important in any role, any organization, and any sector. Even the third example says that customer service professionals have good organization skills, but until unless he can't be patient and interact with the customers professionally, he can't do anything. That is true. If I'm calling a customer care and asking him to do all the things, and I'm very frustrated, I'm shouting at him, I'm just blabbering all my bad language to him, saying that all bad words, but still the person who has ability of holding that pressure, he will talk to us very smoothly and say that, sir, what is your problem, please wait, I'm so sorry for what happened, let me explain and have these things in order. He will organize these things, everything in order, and then he will talk to you nicely and he will solve your problem. That's how the customer care professional will do it. Until unless you don't have that communication skill or the soft skill, can't do it. Everything revolves under this communication and soft skill only. Moving on to the next slide. The top 10 soft skills. First thing is communication. Second is self-motivation. Third is leadership. Fourth is responsibility. Fifth is teamwork. Sixth is problem solving. Seventh is decisiveness. Eighth is ability to work under pressure and time management. Ninth is flexibility. And 10th, negotiation and conflict resolution. Everything we will discuss one by one in the next slides. Communication is very important, like how we have been talking about all these things. So until unless I don't communicate to you, you will not understand. If I tell this presentation without any voice, like mute, people can't understand. That's how it is. So until unless we don't communicate, things will not happen. Second is self-motivation. Having a positive attitude and initiate to work well with all your supervisions and employees, and for all these things you should have some key skills. These key skills are positivity, ambition, commitment, and initiative. If you don't have these skills of your self motivation, you can't grow. In any organization, people will not come you and push you and say that every day they'll not hold your hand and do the work yourself. You have to do everything by yourself. So self motivation is very important, and in this self motivation, positivity, ambition, commitment, and initiative, these are main characteristics. Leadership, like we are talking about how communication skills are important, self motivation is important, likewise leadership is also very important. Why leadership is important? If you're working in a company where almost 10 people are there, in this 10 people everyone is of same grade, everyone has same skills, everyone is doing same work, everything is same. But how will a leader come out of it? Everything is same, right? How will a leader come out of it? Leader comes out of it only when there is an opportunity. He will take the opportunity, he will come out, he will make the other people learn what is important, and he will take some good decisions, and he will solve some conflicts, and everything whatever he has, he will motivate the other people with them, and then makes the other people follow him. Until unless you don't do the work, other people will not do the work. This is how leadership will works. Until unless leadership is there, the quality, people will not grow up. They'll be below the ladder, and the persons who has the leadership quality, they will grow up the ladder. Simple. Moving on to the next slide. Responsibility. Responsibility is something like highly valued soft skill. Why it is important? Because as I told you, the same example we'll go for. There are 10 people in an organization, and one person will take a responsibility for something which has happened and which is very important there, and he will make other people to do the work. So by taking responsibility, also the leadership quality will increase. These are all what you call interrelated soft skills. Next is teamwork. Like leadership and good responsibility, good teamwork is also involved with good combination of other soft skills. And for teamwork, you need all the team members being by your side, and they have to believe you. Until unless they don't believe you, teamwork will not happen. So leadership skills and your responsibility, all these things matters when the teamwork has to go, right? Moving on to the next one, problem solving. Like I told you, when you take a responsibility, there is some problem, you're taking some responsibility and making it happen. So the problem solving is also the same. In this, people think that problem solving is something like analytic. No, it requires creative and critical skills. Critical skills is nothing but when a particular thing is happening and it is very, very dangerous, and the people will move away from it. But the person who wants to take the responsibility, who is a leader by himself, he will come forward and he'll take the responsibility. He will solve everything smoothly, effectively, with cool head. Then people will start following you. That is how problem solving skills is also important for the leadership. So as I told you, every soft skill is interrelated. You can't say that one soft skill is important than another. No, everything is really important. Moving on to the next slide. Decisiveness. Decisiveness is the characterized by the ability to make quick and effective decisions. It means that people should not be mean recklessness or impulsiveness. They have to be beyond it. The ability to put the things into perspective, weigh up the options, assess all the relevant information, anticipate any consequences, good and bad. All these things, who are decisive, they will definitely have these qualities. Ability to work under pressure and time management. Ability to work under pressure, this is what we are talking about from the leadership. All the points what we spoke about is similar to this point, but still, I'll explain this in detail. Many jobs come with demanding deadlines and sometimes high stakes. Sometimes people say that you have to work until 1 o'clock and you have to submit off because tomorrow morning 7 o'clock is the meeting. What will you do? You can't do anything. You have to slog yourself, do the work, complete it, submit it, and in the morning you have to give the presentation at any cost. You sleep less, you do anything, because all these things are very, very important when you go for a work, because they only sees whether you are working under pressure, completing the task, yes or no. That's it. If we don't complete the task, things are not going in a good way. So ability to work under pressure is very, very high soft skill, and people have to develop this on a high scale. And the time management. Time management is something like similar to all these things. Everything will have a time. From morning to evening, you have to manage your time and complete it. Otherwise, even if you slog, even if you do the work, what will happen is until 1 o'clock, if you slog and do the work also, it will not be finished, because in between you have not managed your time and you have wasted your time for some other things. So what will happen? Again, you have to work for another 3-4 hours. So what will happen is by 5 o'clock, you'll finish your work and 7 o'clock you have a meeting. So you will not have a sleep. How will you give the presentation there? These are very, very important things where you have to think of. So ability to work under pressure and time management are interrelated, like how decisiveness, and before topics what we spoke about, until the leadership, everything is very, very important. So time management is interrelated to every scenario and every situation. Until unless you don't do the time management, nothing will come in place. The next slide. Flexibility. Flexibility is something that now we spoke about how we work under pressure and slog yourself for another 3-4 hours, for 5 hours, 6 hours, even if it is a holiday you work, even if it is a day off you work, even you go on some vacation, still your phone should be on because some clients might call, some important things should be there. And you have to talk to them for another 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour, whatever it is, but you have to do it. This is how the flexibility works. And the flexibility, the employers are willing to help out where needed, take an extra responsibility, adaptable skills quickly when plan changes. This is what it is. Until unless you don't feel this, employers will not give you any what do you call responsibility or any stake ahead of you. Nothing will happen. If you want to grow up the ladder, you have to be very flexible to work and flexible to do anything. Next, negotiation and conflict resolution. Negotiation is something like it will start with your interview first. Why it will start with an interview? In an interview, until unless you don't negotiate yourself and you don't sell yourself and make the things happen, you will not be into the company. So it will start from your interview process. From there until you grow up there and you leave the company and go on to the next company, until there the negotiation skills has to be there. You talk to your client, you have to be very negotiable. You can't tell to the client stubbornly saying that this is what will happen and you can't do it. No, you have to negotiate. You have to wait for him. You have to see what he is trying to tell you, then negotiate with him, then make the things happening. Then you have to move on to the next level. So negotiation is very, very important. Similarly, the conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is something like there is a conflict in your company, and whenever the conflict arises, we have to be very soft, very cool, cool-headed, cool-minded. First, think of what is happening, what can be done, what cannot be done. Make down all the points, prepare yourself, then talk to the client, resolve the conflict, then come back with a solution. So until unless you don't do this conflict resolution, your negotiation skills will not improve. And until unless you don't have good negotiation skills, you can't resolve the conflict. So everything is interrelated. From starting to now, whatever we spoke, every soft skill is interrelated to other soft skill. Until unless you don't have one, you can't do the other. So from starting the communication to negotiation and conflict resolution, every soft skill is very, very important. These are top 10. Still, you have many more to learn. But still, if you learn this, this is maximum enough for you to go up the ladder anytime, anywhere. Can I learn the soft skills? Why? Can you learn the soft skills? Do you think it is important for you to learn? It is definitely important for you to learn. Improving your soft skills can be tricky, as this requires quite a lot of introspection, which can be very difficult. Didn't understood, right? I'll tell you. Like other technical skills, you don't have a barrier, you don't have an exam for this, you don't get a certificate by passing an exam, nothing like that. Because if you pass an exam by proving that I have good soft skills, that is waste. Soft skills are only one skill which you have to develop by yourself. People will train you, but until unless you don't practice it, you will not learn it. You can write the exam and you get the certificate. People who have got the soft skill certificate outside can't talk. This is for sure. I'm telling you, I have seen hundreds of people who can't talk and they still have the certificate saying that I am an expert in soft skills. No, that will not happen. Until unless you don't practice yourself, nothing can happen. So practicing in self-reflection, that is the first point, which is very, very important for improving your soft skill. Self-reflection is something like stand in front of a mirror, talk aloud, read aloud, record your video, see your video for 2-3 times, After that, you will understand where you're making some mistakes. Even when we talk after all these things, we make mistakes. That is something like a daily practice. We do it, we learn it. I was also struggling in initial days because of these soft skills. I've learned it. Similarly, like me, you can also learn. Try practicing every day, you can learn about it. It took me 12 years, 13 years of my experience to learn all these things. Initial days, I have also struggled for 1 to 2 years. I have struggled. I have learned. I have practiced myself. There are many people. No one will become expert until unless you don't practice it. Observe others. This is very important. Why? Because other people who are talking and who are representing and who are giving you some suggestion, observe them. Take it. No worries. You assess yourself whether it is important for you, yes or no. That's it. But you can't tell them onto the face saying that no, I don't need your solution. No, that's not a good sign of soft skill. Good sign of a soft skill is obedience, listening to what people are telling you, then learning, and then practicing. This is the powerful soft skill. The last one is practice, which we have been talking about from starting to now. Every example says that until unless you don't practice, nothing can happen. So if you want to go for any techie job, soft skill is important. If you want to go for any management job, soft skill is important. If you want to become a doctor, soft skill is important. If you want to become a pharmacist, soft skill is important. If you want to become an actor, soft skill is important. Tell me the field which doesn't require any soft skill. You want to become a lecturer, soft skill is important. If you want to become a politician, soft skill is definitely important. Tell me one thing which doesn't require a soft skill. So starting from today, everyone, just look for some good soft skill online training programs, note down everything, then go for it. So if you want to improve your ladder, learn the soft skill. Thank you for listening to me. This is Satish Chandra Velpule signing off. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Satish. It is a wonderful presentation, and hopefully you have taken the students to that level of understanding where the students can feel, yes, this is what we need to focus on, and this is what I must try to improve my soft skill area. And probably today they are much more clear the role of soft skills for their career building process. Thank you so much, Satish, Sifali, and Satish for gracing the conference. And it is both lovely presentations and lovely, beautiful insights. Uh, we will do more and more such programs going ahead, and we're looking forward for your uh, participations and consent for the same. Thank you so much for your precious time on a weekend, particularly. Hmm. When my Satish had to woke up early, and and Sifali had to forego certain household work and come here, right? uh, Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for the opportunity, sir. Pleasure was ours.
Thank you so much.